Hey, welcome to another epic adventure at Weaver Stonehouse Farms. And hey, thanks for coming to the farm. So, gonna do a little bit of update on the Ford 2000, and we're gonna do some fixing too. So, my buddy John had given this to me, and I haven't really posted anything on the fixes that we did. You know, one of the first things we did, and you can tell the difference, is the tires. Now, I put a little bit bigger tire on that side. I wanted the front end just a little bit higher. When that one goes bad, we'll change it. We ended up putting a what was it, a Titan 7.5 by 16 on there. We put calcium in it to go ahead and put some extra weight on it too. And then these original tires, the exhaust manifold ended up, it was rotted out in here, so ripped that off. Thankfully it came apart pretty easy, but I soaked it a good bit with some WD-40 before we did it. Changed the exhaust manifold out. That exhaust came loose. The old clamp that was on there actually came off. But I just didn't feel good clamping it down. It wasn't fitting it just right. Another one on, got that fixed up. And then ended up doing a little bit of work on the dash side. We put a new key switch in it, put a new light switch in it, put a new choke cable on it, put another gasket on the throttle adjustment there, new steering wheel. Now this took some time here. It's crazy design, the way Ford designed these things. But that has all your hydraulics going into it for your power steering. And there's a seal that goes up and through there. And I had to tear that whole thing apart and then braze on that interior shaft and then grind it and then braze it again to get it just right so the seal would fit, because it was worn and I wasn't buying a new shaft, so we made that happen. Pump blew out while we were raking hay. Blew out on this side, so tore that apart, put it together. Took a couple times to get that done. Messed this gasket up when I was doing it, but you know, 2 gasket kits later, we got this thing back together. All the springs but 2 were broken inside of here because it's a piston pump. But yeah, now that we got that up and running, what was really slick about that, after running it in the field for a while, then it freed up the arms. The arms actually went up and down then, so super awesome there. And then we added on hydraulic lines if I need to drive something later on. I put that in. So those are in place because the hoses need changed out. I'm like, well, while I'm doing this, so I threw some T-fittings in, quick disconnect, ran a new hose on it for the snowplow on the front end. Now, that's the part I'm really super happy about, is this freaking snowplow piece. We're getting to that. So then the air filter setup, that took a rigging. That was off of, I think, a Ford Power Stroke. This hose on up through to another hose with an adapter piece to make it all work, make it all fit. And then the fuel line, we ended up changing out the fuel shutoff because it leaked. The fuel sediment bowl, we changed it out because it was just chock full and I couldn't get it clean, so it was just easier to change it. And then fuel line, so I couldn't get it tightened up over on a pump, so I cut it and I put copper nickel in, or Cooper nickel, and ran that on up over here to the pump inside of here. You know, I had to take the generator off to get to it, but that was okay. Got that fixed, so it's not leaking fuel anymore. So, oh, and then the tire. That's a new to me tire. It's an old one, but new to me. Not too bad of a deal. I didn't think it was 75 bucks, and it had calcium in it, the other one, so I had it switched at my local tire shop. Dumbballs, they're great people. And then, you know, new. So it's on the tractor, it works, and it runs, and it made for hay season, which is awesome, right? So the next thing we're doing here is this plow setup. Now, that pin, where you can see where it is on the left-hand side, or that bolt is, I had to go ahead and cut that bolt off, and then what I did is I welded that piece up right there, the angle iron, so it'd stay put, because I had to cut that bolt. I gotta tell you, super sweet. It's one of the best things I've ever gotten in a long time. Cordless sawzalls. I love my sawzalls. Absolutely love them. But when I coupled them with this Lennox thick metal saw blade, I just, man, unstoppable. Just blew through that bolt, and it was a bolt about that size. Stick my finger there for comparison. It just blew through that like butter. It was awesome. So today then, we're gonna go ahead and get this welded up, so then we can get our snowplow just that much closer. Now there we are, one step closer. I gotta weld an ear onto that one, but that's okay. Yeah, so this is all welded up. Did a weld on the inside and then did a cap weld over top, and then down on the side, and then in underneath and over here. I stitched that ear in because it was hanging out over the edge. So sweet. Yeah, and this is from one of my other buddies. He gave me a snowplow. He said it was a deal he couldn't pass up, and he bought it online. He really didn't need it. So you know who you are. You know who you are. Thank you. You short fella, you. So, all right. Well, hey, as always, thanks for following along, and thanks for being part of the fun at Weaver Stonehouse Farms. We'll see you on the farm next time.